Our guest of honor of Youth Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is Mr. Dev Pragarji. He is from USA. He is President, CEO and co-founder of Newsweek. Dr. Dev Pragarji was born in India and he grew up in United Kingdom. He did his bachelor's in computer sciences and PhD in mobile internet. He also holds an executive program diploma from Harvard Business School. Dr. Dev Pragar's leadership has resulted in Newsweek reaching over 100 million monthly readers and achieving profitability. May I request Dr. Dev Pragarji to kindly address the August gathering. Dr. Dev Pragarji.
Dr. S. Jaishankar, Honorable External Affairs Minister, Dr. Mansukh Mandavia, Honorable Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Shri Mohan Charan Majhi, Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Pabitra Margarita, Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs, Ms. Raksha Nikhil Khadse, Honorable Minister of State for Youth Affairs and Sports, distinguished guests, and to the reason for the significant gathering today, my dear young global Indians, Namaste. A very good morning to you all. It is an absolute honor to address you all at this historic 18th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, a platform that exemplifies the strength and unity of our Indian diaspora, whose achievements continue to inspire and elevate India's standing globally. It is a great privilege to be in this forum and in the company of your previous honorees, leaders of the global Indian diaspora that has shaped and is shaping so much of our common future. My story is quintessentially American. The striving immigrant with a dream, pulling off a business turnaround of an iconic American brand against impossible odds in New York City, the city that never sleeps. Today, as a family, we are proud American citizens. Yet, it is also a quintessentially Indian story. In fact, as many Americans of Indian descent will attest, the Indian heritage did much to make the American success possible. So let's begin with my Indian story. I was born in 1984 in the South Indian city of Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu. I am Indian by birth, heritage, and culture. I spent the first 11 years of my life here in India. The memories and culture of this land are deeply engraved in me. Indian food is my go-to comfort food. My parents emigrated from India when I was 11 years old, briefly to the Middle East before settling in London, England. My father is an IIT graduate who became a professor. Education played a major role in our family. Like many from the Indian community, I obtained an engineering degree, followed it with a PhD from King's College, London, whose current president and vice chancellor, Satish Kapoor, who's a good friend of mine, is also of Indian origin. My first stint in media was in London, where I learned the nuances of digital media and the advertising business. It was also in London, a melting pot of the world, where I met my future wife, who's from Czech Republic. For me, a globalized world is not just a matter of corporate strategy. At home, it can lead to delicious but often very confusing dinner menus. My American story really began after a decade of near bankruptcies, fire sales, and bailouts. The rescue of Newsweek was dismissed as a fool's errand. The business logic of a turnaround did appear to be foolish, but I refused to accept it. Newsweek had been part of the fabric of the American life for nearly a century. It was worth saving, in my view. There was value in that legacy that was perhaps a little bit easier for me to see as an Indian-born immigrant from a culture where past and present connect more seamlessly. Then there were the risks. Had I failed, it'd be a far cry from standing here. I'd have faced both financial and reputational ruin. No project this daunting could be undertaken without the guiding light of a higher purpose. For that inspiration, we again turn to the history and heritage of the brand. Newsweek had lost its way not just because of technological disruptions, but because it had strayed from its roots as a magazine for all Americans. It had turned away from the values and viewpoints of our vast and diverse country and taken shelter among the coastal elites of America. The magazine's relevance, credibility, and audience had crumbled along with its financial health. We resolved to rebuild Newsweek on the values of nonpartisan journalism, to speak to and listen to people across the political and cultural spectrum, and to welcome diverse voices in the pursuit of finding common ground. We did this not just out of the reverence for the past, but because we believed it was the right thing to do for America's future. Deeply divided, Americans were talking past each other. The media was part of the problem, not the solution. The pursuit of common ground and fair journalism was good for democracy, good for America, and good for the world at large. I must confess, I probably will not be standing here today if the right thing to do hadn't turned out to be also the profitable thing to do. Newsweek's audience has grown more than tenfold across all platforms since we embarked on this journey. Our demographics today perfectly represent the cross-section of America, with a third of the audience identifying as left-leaning, a third as right-leaning, and a third as moderate. At a time when Americans' trust in media has tumbled to an all-time low, YouGov's Trust in Media Monitor shows trust in Newsweek is growing across the political spectrum. It may not be a coincidence that Newsweek was named the fastest growing English language news publisher in the world last year. The embrace of tradition and heritage was only part of the story. Being an outsider to American media helped me to think about problems differently. I became an owner of Newsweek at the time when billionaires were buying storied legacy media brands to save them from collapse. Those were philanthropic investments lauded by newsrooms everywhere, who now have time to regroup and rebuild. Contrary to that, I was not born into wealth. I had to work my way up. And that turned out to be fortuitous for Newsweek. We committed ourselves to building a profitable publishing business, and in doing so, we regrouped and rebuilt the brand, the platform, and the content under intense pressure. The pressure paid off. Now those billionaire owners have run out of patience and are seeking to turn profit. Yet Newsweek is profitable, growing, and investing inside our newsroom and outside it. There is an irony in this story that it took an Indian immigrant to embrace American capitalism to rescue an iconic American brand. There were other innovations too. Many Indian immigrants to the United States end up in the Silicon Valley. I borrowed many ideas from the Valley. We run Newsweek on OKRs, a business management framework that made tech giants like Intel and Google so successful. We turned our journalism's mission into products, including Fairness Meter and Trust Meter. Others are beginning to follow our footsteps. My engineers' instincts have set us on a path to build a platform business, leveraging our global reach and growing trust to create B2B products that complement our consumer strategy. And AI is at the heart of everything we do today. Yes, I know this feeds the stereotype. This is exactly what you would expect an Indian engineering guy to do with a 92-year-old print brand. Yet we are thriving in print too. Our print edition is profitable, published more frequently than any other American news weekly. I was humbled when two Harvard Business School professors wrote a case study on my work in turning around Newsweek a few years ago. Today, my leadership and turnaround of Newsweek are taught at the esteemed Harvard Business School to many aspiring business leaders. As some of you may know, the dean at the Harvard Business School, Shrikant Dattar, also a good friend, is from India as well. So are many distinguished professors at that school. That is another unexpected concomitant of my Indian-inspired success story. Newsweek's transition has positioned it to offer the American public a fresh perspective on the rise of India. Newsweek is a global brand with a proud and deep American roots. India has its many problems and challenges, and we are committed to chronicling them fairly for our American audience. That is core to our mission. But we all know that problems and challenges are only part of the Indian story. There are also enormous opportunities, astonishing innovations, tales of courage and unimaginable progress, and history-making breakthroughs. Then there are also common democratic values and increasingly shared geopolitical interests between our two countries. Our commitment to fairly chronicling every story from every perspective gives Newsweek a unique opportunity to tell the whole story of modern India to an American and global public that understands little about the rising global giant. As we prepare the next chapter of the Newsweek story, you can see that my story is uniquely American and also uniquely Indian at the same time. I must warn you, though, that it's not unique after all. An American company with an Indian origin CEO is no longer a particularly unusual phenomenon. There are so many of us that much ink is spilled in academia and media on what could possibly be so special about CEOs of Indian heritage. The editors of Newsweek have started reporting on this subject too. One of them shared an anecdote from his notes. There was a time that if you were Indian, you could not become a CEO. Now, you're more likely to become a CEO if you are Indian. There are many factors at play here and far too many to recount, including hard work, talent, a devotion to education, and the fact that for decades, India had sent many of its brightest minds out into the world. This phenomenon may not continue for much longer as the next generation chooses to remain here and build India. But let me offer one observation from my relatively humble experience. As an Indian-born immigrant to the United States, I'm able to see and adapt to the very best in both societies. For me, both cultures and systems represent glasses that are well more than half full. The optimism and resilience of these two great nations helped me write this new chapter in Newsweek's storied history in a globalized world. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my story. It's a real honor and privilege to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dev Pragarji, for gracing us with your kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor, Dr. Dev Pragarji. And now may I have the privilege of inviting Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar ji, and request sir for the address. Sir, please.
Somebody is there. Biswas? Yeah. ओडिशा के माननीय मुख्यमंत्री श्री मोहन चरण मांझी जी, मेरे कैबिनेट के साथी डॉक्टर मनसुख मांडविया जी, हमारे गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर डॉक्टर देव प्रकाश जी, हमारे राज्य मंत्री श्री कीर्ति वर्धन सिंह जी, श्रीमती रक्षा निखिल खाडसे जी, श्री पवित्र मार्गरीटा जी, नमस्कार, जय जगन्नाथ. I am very pleased to welcome you all to the Youth Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2025 in Bhubaneswar today. Now you all know that it is customary to hold a conclave of our younger generation as part of the PBD celebrations. The thinking behind that is one of recognizing the special contribution that young minds make at home and abroad. And indeed, in connecting them more effectively for mutual good. At a time when so many key developments in the world are being shaped by this younger generation, whether we talk of AI or EV, innovation or startups, space or drones, sports, chess, cricket, there is all the more reason to do so. Friends, at home, we have just started our journey towards Viksit Bharat in the Amrit Kal. This is an endeavor that is very much about the future generation. After all, it is in this period that they will come to the front ranks of our society and lead our nation. A large part of our efforts is to give the right motivation to the younger generation to accelerate their efforts. While development itself is a very complex task, it becomes much easier when we are confident that nothing is beyond us. I still recall some time ago an observation by a famous Indian badminton player, P.V. Sindhu, on why Prime Minister Modi is a youth icon. She summed it up as his attitude, which moved the nation from chalta hai to badal sakta hai to hoga kaise nahi. Indeed, it is this very spirit which has driven our achievements in recent years. When confronted by the COVID pandemic, India demonstrated a remarkable resilience and strong recovery thereafter. And I remember working with Mansukh Bhai as Health Minister during that period. The very country that was predicted to go under ended up supplying vaccines and medicines to the entire world. A different but equally telling example is what we see in the realm of space, where there is a growing competition internationally. Our Chandrayaan 3 landing, the Aditya L1 Observatory, and the proposed Gaganyaan mission are powerful inspirations. In a digital era, the scale of UPI transactions speaks volumes both of our infrastructure and of our mindset. The new India, with 90,000 startups and 100+ unicorns, has calling cards like Drone Didi, Atal Tinkering Labs, hackathons, green hydrogen mission, or nano fertilizers. Friends, ambitious visions need strong foundations to be realized. Our collective prospects are no exception to that rule. Here again, it is critical to invest in our youth in order to achieve their full potential. Many of you would be familiar with various campaigns and programs to develop India undertaken since 2014 under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Whether it is Swachh Bharat or Beti Padhao, Awas or Anna Yojana, Mudra or Swanidhi, Ayushman Bharat or Jal Jeevan, each one of them has been a transformational effort. However, if you were to see them in their entirety, connecting those dots will give you an appreciation of how we are securing the future of our youth. They will help bring their skills and creativity to the fore, ensuring that India's talents are fully available to the global workplace. Friends, given the rapidity of the changes underway, it is also essential that we step up efforts to keep the diaspora continuously connected. It is a matter of satisfaction to know that Know India program and Bharat Ko Janiye quiz are now getting much more traction than in previous years. We also regularly welcome the visits of PIO journalists to India. Let me take the opportunity to urge you on behalf of Prime Minister Modi to promote India as a tourism destination. If young Indian PIOs bring their equally young friends from abroad to explore this uniquely rich and diverse heritage and culture, this will surely become a lifelong habit for them. Let me also say a few words about our guest of honor. Normally, we pick somebody from the political world for that position. On this occasion, we have made a departure, I think a very understandable and I think a very justifiable departure of picking someone from the world of media, from the world of business, because Indians today, young Indians today are succeeding in so many domains, and it's important that we recognize that. Friends, allow me also to say a few words about the great state of Odisha. This state offers a tremendous opportunity to experience personally much of what we would be discussing in the course of the PBD. Its cultural festivals and religious and archaeological sites are a reminder why we in India consider ourselves to be a civilizational society. It is equally a living testament to the development progress in all its dimensions. When it comes to the youth, their optimism and energy is very much on display in Odisha, whether it is in institutions of learning or those we encounter in our daily life. So let me conclude by saying this. We are today well on the way to addressing long-standing challenges to build a modern, inclusive and progressive society. Our quest is unique because the largest nation in the world is developing in that matter in a democratic framework. The mantra of the journey is to advance, as Prime Minister Modi says, to advance on the two legs of technology and tradition. And the youth can surely be a defining factor in the pace of that endeavor and the realization of our goals. So once again, I welcome you to Bhubaneswar. I welcome you to the PBD 2025. I'm sure all of you will have a remarkable next few days ahead. I thank you for your attention. Jai Jagannath, Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Jai Jagannath, Honorable External Affairs Minister, Sri S. Jaishankar ji, Honorable Union Minister, Youth Affairs and Sports, Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya ji, CEO and co-founder, Nua Jibana from USA, Dr. Dev Pragad ji, Honorable Minister of State, External Affairs, Sri Kirti Vardhan Singh ji, Honorable Union Minister of State, Youth Affairs and Sports, Srimati Raksha Nikhil Khadse ji, Honorable Union Minister of State for External Affairs, Sri Pavitra Margarita ji, समस्तंकु नमस्कार। मु सारा ओडिशा वासी तरफरु आपण मानंकु समस्तंकु ओडिशा को एवं मंदिर मालिनी सहर भुवनेश्वर को स्वागत करुछि। आपण मानंकर उपस्थिति आज भुवनेश्वर रे आनिछि आनंदर लहरी, खुशीर संभार। एही किछि दिन धरी ओडिशावासी अजस्र स्नेह और श्रद्धार सहित आपण मानक अपेक्षार थिले। आज से अपेक्षार अंत होइछि। मु आशा करुछि भुवनेश्वर रे प्रथम थर पई अनुष्ठित ही उत्सव आपण मानक पई एवं आम पई जीवनर एक अभूला स्मृति हेई रहिबो। आउ आगामी दिन रे ये संपर्कर सेतु आहुरी सुदृढ़ हब। वेलकम टू द लैंड ऑफ लॉर्ड जगन्नाथ। वेलकम टू ओडिशा एंड टू द सिटी ऑफ टेम्पल सिटी ऑफ भुवनेश्वर। Bhubaneswar is now ready to welcome you in every corner and at every square. This is an occasion celebrated to honor the invaluable contributions of Indians worldwide and to explore new opportunities for brotherhood and collaboration. Hosting this prestigious event here in Odisha is a matter of immense honor and pride for us. It is a confluence of ideas, cultures, and achievements that showcase the strength of global Indian identity. Friends, today we celebrate the exceptional contributions of over 30 million Indians living across 200 countries. You are our cultural ambassadors embodying the essence of India in your host nations, and you are our pride. When you excel abroad, we rejoice here. From being front runners in science and technology, to leading global corporations, to shaping policies in government across the world, the Indian diaspora has demonstrated resilience and excellence. Top business leaders like Gopi Chand Hinduja and Ellen Mittal, CEOs like Indira Nai, Sundar Pichai, and Satya Nadella, scientists like Venkat Ramakrishnan, fashion designers like Vibhu Mahapatra have brought immense pride for our motherland. You have embraced the cultures of your adopted home countries while nurturing and sharing the values of India, values rooted in family, community and humanity. This year's theme, Diaspora's Contribution to a Vikasit Bharat, recognizes and celebrates the contributions of Indian diaspora in building a Vikasit Bharat in the Amrit Kal. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take you on a walk through Odisha, the land that warmly welcomes you today. Odisha is a land of timeless heritage. Odisha is a treasure trove of history, culture and natural beauty. From the majestic Sun Temple at Konark to the sacred Jagannath Temple in Puri, our state is home to some of the most iconic landmarks of Indian civilization. I would like all of you to explore nature's secret in Odisha and take a little bit of Odisha along with you. While Odisha's past is steeped in history, its present is defined by transformation and progress. Today, Odisha stands as a leader in mining and industries such as steel, aluminium, while emerging as a hub for sports, IT and skill development. Skill in Odisha is a preferred brand name. We have been making significant strides in education, healthcare and infrastructure, ensuring inclusive growth and sustainable development. Our recognition as a sports powerhouse is testament to our commitment to excellence. Friends, to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, I extend an open invitation to reconnect with your roots and rediscover the magic of Odisha. Whether it is through cultural exchanges, business ventures, or educational collaborations, we welcome your ideas, investments, and entrepreneurship. In Odisha, opportunities abound in sectors such as technology, renewable energy, infrastructure development, education, and tourism. We also value the role of the diaspora in promoting brand Odisha globally. You are our ambassadors, bridging cultures and creating opportunities for Odisha on the world stage. प्रिय मित्रों, हमें पता है आप जहां भी रहते हैं, इंडिया आपके दिल में बसता है। आपके अचीवमेंट्स हमें खुशी देता है। आपके लिए हम सब गर्व करते हैं। भुवनेश्वर में इस कार्यक्रम करने के लिए मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को और विदेश मंत्रालय को धन्यवाद देता हूं। मैं चाहूंगा कि आप सब इन 3 दिनों में ओडिशा के संस्कृति और ऐतिह्य के बारे में जानें। पुरी, कोणार्क, धौली, चिलिका लेक आदि बहुत सारे पर्यटन स्थल को जाएं और इसके साथ ओडिशा के लेजीज खाने डालमा, रसगुल्ला और छेनापोड़ के मजा भी लीजिए। भुवनेश्वर में इस अवसर पर बहुत सारे कल्चरल प्रोग्राम हो रहा है। आप सब ये सभी देखना चाहिए। इससे ओडिशा के साथ आपका रिश्ता और भी मजबूत होगा और ये रिश्ता अटूट रहेगा। Dear friends, before I conclude, let me leave you with a message of hope and determination. Together we are stronger. Together we can build a Viksit Odisha, a Viksit Bharat. Once again, I welcome you to Odisha. Let this Pravasi Bharatiya Divas be a celebration of our past, a reflection of our present, and a vision for our future. This event, I believe, will be a hallmark in cementing our bond as a family. Thank you for being here. धन्यवाद। जय जगन्नाथ, वंदे उत्कल जननी, भारत माता की जय।
Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister, sir, for your address.
Majhi ji, Chief Minister of Odisha, Honorable Dr. Jaishankar ji, Minister of External Affairs, Honorable Dr. Mansukh Mandviya ji, Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Dr. Dev Pragat ji, CEO and co-founder Newsweek from the USA, Honorable Kirtivardhan ji, Minister of State of External Affairs, Honorable Dr. Pratibha Margarita, Minister of State for External Affairs, distinguished dignitaries, distinguished Pravasi Bharatiya delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored and privileged to stand before you today to extend heartfelt gratitude on behalf of the organizing committee and all dignitaries guests at the 18th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas held in Bhubaneswar. First and foremost, I could like to express our sincere thanks to our esteemed chief guest, Honorable Shri Mohan Charan Majhi, Chief Minister of Odisha. Your presence today, sir, has not only made this event a grand success, but also reflect the warm hospitality and forward-looking vision of the state of Odisha, for which we are all deeply grateful. We are privileged to have been graced by the insightful words of Honorable Dr. Jaishankar ji, Minister of External Affairs. Your guidance and unwavering support for our global Indian diaspora have truly made this event a milestone in strengthening the bond between India and its overseas communities. A special thanks to Dr. Mansukh Mandviya ji, Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, for highlighting the importance of empowering our youth and ensuring they have tools to become tomorrow leaders. We also extend our heartfelt appreciation to Honorable Dr. Prabitaji Margarita, Minister of State for External Affairs, for sharing his vision of vibrant role the youth of India play in shaping our country's future, both at home and abroad. Your perspective have unfortunately inspired all of us today. We are also grateful to the special guest Dr. Dev Pragat ji, CEO and co-founder Newsweek from the USA, for sharing his valuable thought which have enhanced the global dimension of this significant gathering. Our sincerest thanks go to esteemed Pravasi Bharatiya delegates who have traveled from various corners of the world to join us in this special celebration. You are the true ambassador of India, carrying our culture, value, and inspiration to all corners of the globe. It is because of you that the spirit of India resonate so strongly across the nation. Our special mention must be made of the youth of India who participate in the inaugural session. Your energy and vision for the future are truly inspiring. You represent dynamic and promising future of our nation. We could like also to convey our sincere appreciation to the media personnel who have covered this event with such professionalism, ensuring the message of 18 Nua Pravasi Bharatiya Divas reach millions of people around the world. We extend our heartfelt thanks to the team of Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, comprising NYKS, NSS for their continuous effort and invaluable support in making this event ensure its success. Their coordination and commitment have been instrumental in bringing together such an enriching gathering. Our gratitude also goes to Minister of External Affairs for their seamless collaboration and unwavering commitment to the Pravasi Bharatiya community. A very special thanks to Government of Odisha for their spectacular arrangement which have ensured that every aspect of their event has been conducted with almost excellence. Your hospitality has been exemplary. Last but not least, our appreciations goes to the NIC for their technical support, ensuring smooth proceeding throughout the event. As we conclude today's proceeding, I am confident that the connection, idea and inspiration shared here will be continue foster stronger bond among the youth of India and the global Indian community. Let us live here today, not just as a participant of an event, but as a partner in a larger mission, a mission of progress, unity, prosperity for India and its diversity. Once again, thank you all for your presence, your contribution and your continued dedication to the vision of a bright future for our great nation. Jai Jagannath, Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. Honorable Minister of State for Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India, Ms. Raksha Nikhil Kharse ji, for the closing remarks. And before we wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share with you that now there will be a tea break for 15 minutes. और अभी जैसे ओडिशा के माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ओडिशा के क्यूजीन और डेलिकेसीज का जिक्र कर रहे थे, तो हमने आपके लिए हाई टी ऑर्गेनाइज की है यहाँ पर. बट प्लीज अलाउ मी टू शेयर विद यू.
धन्यवाद देवाई चाहे, कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन करने चाहे श्री जयशंकर जी को भी, जेहेतु प्रवासी भारतीय पीबीडी 2025 ओडिशा रे तार आयोजन जो करने निष्पत्ति निगला, यार द्वारा आगामी दिन में ओडिशा जो प्रधानमंत्री जी को लुक ईस्ट पॉलिसी थिला, से लुक ईस्ट पॉलिसी रे ही इटा को से ओडिशा रे ऑर्गेनाइज करबा पई हमको ओडिशा सरकार को ये चांसटा देछन. मोर संपूर्ण विश्वास अछि कि ओडिशा आगामी दिन रे प्रगति पथ रे आउ आगु को बढ़बो.
आपण शुणुले उपमुख्यमंत्री को एवं जो भली भाव में सूचना रखुले गोटे खूब गर्वर विषय निश्चित भाव में ओडिशा पई प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस जो सम्मेलन रही तार आज आरंभ करा जायछि एवं मुख्यमंत्री मोहन माझी याकू प्रदीप प्रज्वलन करके आरंभ करथिले एवं आसंता काली रही प्रधानमंत्री केते साधित हेई परिबा द्वारा
देखंतु समाज पई सबु वर्गर लोक सबु बयसर लोक काम करथांती, किंतु युव बयस होउची श्रेष्ठ समय समाज पई एवं राष्ट्र पई काम करिया पई, विकास को शिखर रे पहुंचिया पई एवं राष्ट्र को वैभव मंडित करिया पई. पूरा इतिहास रे आपण देखिबे जे एटा भलिया गुटे बयस जो बयस रे व्यक्ति चमत्कार करई थाए. से क्रम रे आज प्रवासी भारतीय सम्मेलन आरंभ हला एवं युव सम्मेलन रो वार्ता ही आरंभ हला एवं वार्ता इटा जे राष्ट्र निर्माण रे युवक मानकर सबठारु अधिक भूमिका रहू, जो माने देश रे अछंती सेमानकर मध्य एवं जो माने प्रवासी विदेश रे अछंती एवं निजर देश माटी छाड़िकी विदेश में रोचंती सेमानकर मध्य जो उत्तरदायित्व राष्ट्रपति ताकू किमिति समाहित हो पार एवं राष्ट्र निर्माण रे केवल भारत में रोहुतबा नागरिक नुहंती विदेश में रोहुतबा नागरिक मध्य किमिति जोड़ी हेबे से बाबद वार्तार ही 3 दिनिया सम्मेलन आरंभ होती गुड़िए टेक्निकल सेशंस भी अच्छी गुड़िए एक्सपर्ट गुड़िए प्रवासी भारतीय पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे एवं भारत रु बाहर को जाइकरी जो माने विदेश रे मध्य ना करिसंती से माने मध्य तांकर जो अनुभव से अनुभव मध्य बांटिबे एवं आमे जो माने ओडिसा रे अछि एवं ओडिसा को सौभाग्य मिली प्रवासी भारतीय सम्मेलन ओडिसा रे करिया पई भुवनेश्वर रे करिया पई आम पई सुजोग जे आम प्रवासी भारतीय मान संगे किमिति जोड़ी हेबु एवं सेमानको ओडिशा गठन रे मध्य सेमानकर भूमिका निर्णय करि पारिबु सेमानको प्रेरित करि पारिबु।